Here's what people don't realize about investment properties. First, I'll talk about the qualification part, and then I'll directly address your question. When you're buying an investment property, I could use 75% of the projected rent as income. Okay, so if you're gonna buy a place and the place is gonna rent for $3,000 a month, I literally add $2,250 a month to the person's income.
So that doesn't go against them, that goes for them on the next
Right.
month.
So even on the home they're buying, and that rent is determined by the appraiser. So even if it's rented for $500 a month to somebody's daughter or whatever, if the appraiser says annualized market rent on this is $3,000 a month, we now have $2,250 in income. If you're buying right, your mortgage payment is that or less. So because those two things wash each other out, you could just buy investment properties.
And what is it 20%, 25%?
So 20% on a single family home and 25% on a multifamily home. Is a conventional. Now I have obviously programs with less than that, but
Sure.
The conventional guidelines, that's what you're at. So I had an agent send me a cash buyer, a cash investor buyer. And the agent said, look, terrified about the market, you have your fancy little thing. There's no way they're gonna get a mortgage, just do your fancy little thing. And I'm like, happy to help. So sit down with the investor, go over the market thing, got them even more excited about the market. And then I had a conversation with them about leverage. And I said, look, you can certainly buy this $500,000 investment property all day long. And I have a tool that said, and if you do that 10 years from now, here's how much money you've made. Let me throw another scenario at you. Let's say you're gonna buy, instead of one $500,000 property, you're gonna buy four $500,000 properties, and you're gonna put down $125,000 on each. And then let me show you what that looks like. And he was up an extra $1.7 million.
From leveraging.
And I called the agent back. I said, I got two pieces of good news. Number one, he's no longer uncomfortable with the market. Number two, I just got you an extra $1.5 million in transactions.
And there it is. So instead of selling Annie one house, you can sell her three.
Apple has $1.7 billion in liquid assets and $1.6 billion in loans.
You know why?
Because they understand the power of leverage.
Well, you're also not taxed on what you have debt on.
Yes.
You're taxed on your asset and not your, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like the profit. It cuts into your profit.
Right.
It reduces your profit, which is your taxable
Yeah,
rate.
anything you own free and clear is all just tax money. But if you have a loan, you're not taxed on your debt. Not taxed on your debt, that's what I was looking to say.
This is a good scenario, because I reached out to Scott, because I had a personal interest in buying an investment property, right? And I said, well, I want to talk to you about HELOC, right? Take my equity out of my current home to buy something else. And he provided that scenario, that example to me, and said, well, why don't you leverage your money and not, like, more cash in your pocket, you could probably buy, two or three different investment properties as opposed to just one more. So it's got me a little thinking a little differently now after our talk. So
You have a follow-up question?
You still need employee and income.
There's no income loans out there nowadays, so I mean, not necessarily.
Well, Annie has a full business though.
Okay. Look, the thing is this,
For you? Okay.
yeah, there's no.
You need a good realtor?
I did my job now. I just work here for like a year, so I don't have 2 years income. So can I do that or?
Yeah, there's programs out there that just work with 1 year income. There's programs out there with no income. And look, no solution's right for everybody, right? Like there's,
I need to see your person.
You do.
You are.
But I mean, guys, I think
Just the two of us.
it's super worth noting. I just converted her. Like that conversation, if she was one of your clients, I just made her a buyer, where maybe she wasn't before then. Because the conversation started with, I know your people don't like mortgage, which saying your people is super uncomfortable for me.
Listen,
Just for the record.
I got it from her.
I'm just putting it out there, and I'm being recorded. There's cable in that puppy. But
Scott, how do you say that without sounding like you're trying to sell the client something like, oh, you want to buy one investment? Why not buy 3?
Because it goes back to today's money is worth more than tomorrow's money. In 2008, 2009, we could have been buying houses today that sell for $300 at $50,000. Right? So if you would have bought 3 houses then, your net worth would be well over $1 million based on a $150,000 investment. Done. Why wouldn't you do that?
So, but how can I get them to, sometimes it's just getting them to give you the call to show them, listen, I'm not blowing smoke up your butt. This is a real program that you can make more money off doing this way than just buying one income property. Is there anything else I can do besides saying, you need to call my guy Scott? I mean, can I say, let me do some numbers for you and send your way, or maybe we can send it to you and both
I think.
Can we do a sit down with the client?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we could all sit down. We could all jump on a Zoom, whatever. But I think the thing is, particularly with investors, is my whole, and you guys know this, but my whole business is built on analytics. So with an investor, it's like, hey, I work with this guy. He has an amazing way of running analytics and numbers on things. I wanna bring him into this just to make sure, so he could forecast out and make sure that you're making the right financial decision with your investment dollars. That's a tough thing to say no to. What's somebody gonna say? No, I wanna run the risk of making a bad decision? And on the, what's to, your first question about how to stop it from being like you're trying to sell them more, I think that's generally in the salesperson's head. Because the truth is this, you are trying to sell them more, but you're trying to sell them more because it's in their best interest.
for
to
their
do this.
benefit, yeah.
And if they don't see that, that's not on you.
Yeah,
That's on
okay.
them.
Yeah.
There's, I talk to, I do this regularly now. I talk to clients like, Scott, I'm gonna wait for the market to drop before I buy something, whether it's the interest rates or they think real estate values or what have you. And I try to convince them otherwise. And a percentage don't listen to me and they think I'm salesy or whatever. And then I call them back a year later and I go, listen, that houses that you were looking at X are now at Y. I still think this is gonna continue to happen. Are you interested in having that conversation again?
It's easier, shorter than that. All
Sure.
you have to do is go, listen, do you ever heard of Noah? Yeah, he didn't miss the boat.
So I think a lot of times salespeople create crap in their head as objections that come from whatever.
I think it stems from multiple people in their ear of whether they had a bad experience or those personal people's own personal fears being deflected onto those who actually didn't have that fear initially, or could do it, have the capability, but then they hear these, oh, I don't know, man, I would wait, have you not seen what's been going on? That's those own people's personal fears, and I have to remind myself there's a lot of things when I hear it, I'm like, wait a minute. And so I feel that may also stem is when too many people are in their ear. So that's why I advise people, if they're gonna buy a home, don't tell people. Just do what you want, but just trust the professionals, and
Consider the source.
and then ask a couple professionals, get a couple different opinions and go with your gut and who you feel, and then go from there. Don't just listen to one, ask a couple, and then I would send my opinion from there, because,
Yeah, and I don't know why the society started to demonize sales. I'm not a salesperson, I'm a consultant. Bullshit, we're salespeople.
So,
And look, I spent my whole life studying, the brain and psychology and stuff like that. And yes, I could use it to wrongly manipulate people. All day long, I have all of the awards and all the crap to prove that. I just choose not to.
Let's
Like,
see
Wolf
that
of
on
Wall
the
Street,
record.
Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort would be the best example of that.
Mhm.
He had